Hi, Mighty Emotions community. Welcome to this month. We are talking about manifestation. I can't wait to talk more about this month because it's one of my favorite topics and not from the conventional lens. If you know me and you know Mighty Emotions, we're all about looking at the root of things. We're all about looking at the core of things, the foundational principles. So know that that's the same energy being applied here to manifesting, okay? This first training is about healing so that we can manifest because what often isn't spoken about is the fact that healing is a part of the manifestation process. And we're going to talk about how to manifest and all of that stuff this month, but we have to start with this because if we don't get this, we're going to come up against obstacles and we're not going to really understand why and it's going to throw us off. But if we can expect that, oh, the healing is part of this process, then we are more prepared, able to face it, able to navigate it, more in control, right? So that's what we are here for. So let's get into this. The manifestation tells us that we can have whatever we want in this life, right? We can dream big, we can achieve all these amazing things. But what they don't tell you is first we have to heal. We have to be willing to heal. And when we talk about healing here in Mighty Emotions, we're talking about being in an optimal state of well-being, right? At our peak state of well-being where our needs are satisfied, our needs are met, that is what healing is for, right? When we go through painful experiences, we're able to resolve that and get our needs met in the present and integrate the lessons and heal, right? That we get that resolution. And that is needed if we are going to manifest. Why? Well, because healing and manifesting both requires our needs getting met. Healing is about releasing and resolving the old. Manifestation is making way for the new. And we are always manifesting, right? But the healing part, sometimes we can get stuck in our manifestation process, or we can manifest things that are undesirable because we haven't addressed the healing. So, even though healing is past focused and manifestation is future focused, they work together to help us nurture ourselves and take care of ourselves, right? At the core of manifesting and at the core of processing your emotions is nurturing yourself, is saying that I deserve my needs to be met. Even if they didn't get met in the past, even if I had this experience or this interaction where it was less than favorable, that doesn't mean I'm less worthy of my needs being met. And so I heal to get my needs met and I manifest to get my needs met. That is nurturing yourself. And it is at the core of both of these processes. Also, know that manifestation is a natural process, that you're able to do it intuitively, just like you're able to process your emotions intuitively. Maybe you were taught in a very pragmatic way. I mean, you are now if you're in this community, but know that you've been doing it your whole life. And the same tools that we use to help us process our emotions are what we use when we're manifesting. They're the internal tools that we're always cultivating here inside this community. So trust that you already know how to manifest, just like you already know how to process your emotions, right? This is just about learning a more systematic approach. Now, I have amazing manifestation mentors who have just created amazing lives, right? And I trust them and their experience and their advice because they have evidence of it and you know, they their expanded way of thinking is just so infectious and it's something that I am constantly striving to develop more and more. And because life is both and, we don't stop being human. They don't stop being human. And I've watched them and I observe how things come up later in the journey. And it's like, oh, we're doing this foundational work again to get to the next level. And then something else will come up and we're doing the foundational work again to heal from that. So we're always going to need to heal as part of this growth, as part of this manifestation, as part of this achieving more in our lives, striving towards any kind of goals. And a lot of what people don't talk about in goal setting is they talk about, oh, being demotivated and burnt out and be disciplined and change your habits and all these things. But they don't talk about what's underlying that demotivation? What's underlying that burnout? What's underlying that self-sabotage? It's that healing needs to happen. It's that we're not at an optimal state of well-being because there's things coming up that haven't been resolved that need to be released, that need to be resolved so that we can go to the next level. So don't think because you learn how to manifest in the direction of the things that you want that you stop being human. We don't stop being human. So we need to learn how to heal and manifest in this cyclical way. Because as we're manifesting, we are going to trigger feelings. Remember, our feelings are the ways that we interpret the world. And when you are manifesting, which we'll get into in a second, it means that you need to stretch, you need to expand. And so all the beliefs that you have, all the things that you accept as true up until this point are going to need to be challenged, are going to need to be reviewed, are going to need to be changed, right? Because going to the next level requires a next level way of thinking or looking at the world, right? Going to the next level requires a next level understanding. So expect the manifestation process to trigger feelings. This is good. This is good. When this happens, you're like, "Ooh, yeah, we're doing it. We are getting it done." Okay? If you want to enjoy prosperity and success, you have to be willing to process your emotions along the way. I watch my mentors do it. I know that this is true for me. You can have all the prosperity and success you desire, but as the emotions that need to be processed come up, you have to be willing to meet them. You have to be willing to do that work. It's called shadow work for some people, whatever it may be, clearing it out because in order to manifest, you need to create space. A lot of people talk about manifestation as creating your reality. This is not true. And I really want to dispel this myth. You do not create your reality. You and I are not creating our reality, the reality, right? I'm not even necessarily creating the reality experience because guess what? I exist in a world with other people. So what happens when they create their reality? What happens when it conflicts with do you see what I'm saying? So you're not creating your reality by manifesting. Reality is something that's being co-created by all of us. We're all participating in it. I can't always predict reality because there's unpredictable elements of it. There's nature, there's people, there's chaos, there's all kinds of things. But to manifest is our ability to create space for new experiences. It's our ability to say, I am open to more, or I'm available for less, right? Manifestation is simply us saying to the universe, to our lives, in our lives, here's what I'm available for. Here are the standards that I have. If you look at the dictionary definition of manifest as an adjective, it means clear or obvious to the eye or mind. We cannot experience anything we can't see, we're unwilling to see, we don't know exists. We won't be able to experience something we don't know exists. We won't be able to have an experience that we don't believe is possible for us to have. We're if we're closed off to it, it's not going to be a part of our experience. We're not going to collect that evidence. So I talk about this more in this month's podcast where I really dive into the how we actually manifest and what that process is. But for the purpose of this training, I need you to understand that your ability to manifest is simply your ability to say, I am available for this. I am available for this outcome. I'm available for this reality. You might not be saying it consciously. You might be saying it subconsciously. You're probably saying it subconsciously. Okay. You're just putting out there that, like, here is the experience that I feel safe with. And that is the experience that you have, that you will have. You didn't create that experience. Reality exists on a spectrum. So there's always a series of possible outcomes that we can experience. It's about what am I available to experience? What do I think is possible for me? What can I see happening? What can I realistically envision? That's why manifestation talks a lot about visualization and vision boards, because whatever outcome we can foresee that becomes clear, obvious to our mind, our subconscious mind, to our eyes, our visualization, our imagination, that is the outcome that is possible for us, and that is an outcome that we will get. So know this, that you don't need to beat yourself up if you experience something difficult, and we'll talk about that more this month. Know that if something bad happens to you, it's not because you're creating your reality. But you do have this ability to say, what do I think is possible for me? That is what you are manifesting. And you're creating space in your nervous system, in your mind, in your life for new experiences, new evidence to come in. Okay? Now, that being said, this is a neutral process. It means that as much as people are selling you manifestation techniques from I'm going to have this grand life, everything on my vision board is going to come true, manifestation is neutral. So it's happening in either direction at all times, consciously, subconsciously, right? It has the ability to go both ways. Just like our emotions have the ability to be pleasurable or uncomfortable, right? And it's not a negative, it's not a positive, it's just a neutral process. It's a process that is happening. It's something that we have the ability to do as human beings, right? That is what you need to understand about it. Okay? Now, like I said, manifestation is about becoming aligned with what we want through clear desire, strong belief, and excited expectation. Now, the reverse of this, if we look at it as a neutral process, is that we can also become aligned with things that we don't desire through clear desire of what we don't want, strong belief that it's possible, and then anxious expectation. So again, it's neutral. It can be used in either way, but know that if I am focusing my attention on what I don't want to happen, and I strongly believe that it's possible for me, and I feel really anxious that it's going to happen, it's probably going to happen, right? That is the process of manifesting that. On the flip side, if I am really clear about something that I want that brings me joy, and I really believe that it's possible for me, and I'm excited about getting it, that is also manifesting. It's about becoming aligned with these things, becoming aligned with experience, becoming aligned with reality, whatever reality we think is available to us, whatever reality we have decided that we are deserving of, our standards, right? That is what manifestation is about. Okay? To manifest means that you're open to see the abundance that was always and is always available, but out of view to you, right? That's the manifestation that you often hear about. I can see that as possible for me. I see that as a possible reality. It's always there, it's always available. Are you willing to see it as something that you can have? And when you are manifesting, you are expanding what you're able to see and therefore experience. Again, I'm driving this point home because I want to dispel the myth that manifestation is you creating your reality. It's not. It's you saying, I can see this happening for me. I can see this being a reality in my life. I'm available for this to be a reality in my life. I'm expecting this. I'm excited about this. Like, think about it like going on a vacation. This is an example I heard in one of the groups I was a part of. Going on a vacation, you know it's happening. You want to go on this vacation, so you book your flight, you book your hotel, all of that stuff. You believe that it's possible, obviously, because you booked it. So you're like, okay, it has to happen now. And you're excited leading up to it. That is all of those internal sensations around it, the internal processes around it. That is what manifests that. Eventually, that vacation happens. Eventually, the day comes, you get on the plane, you go to the place, you have that experience that you were excitedly envisioning, right? But if you could not see yourself going there, if you told yourself, oh, I can't afford to go there, I could never be there, then are you going to experience it? No, you're not seeing it as possible for you. You're not seeing it as an available experience. So you're not going to be able to experience it. Okay, I'll stop driving it home. Now let's talk about desire. Manifestation is perpetuated by desire, and all desires are driven by unmet needs, right? Your needs are what drives your desire. You feel like you need something, right? Or you feel like you really want something strongly, that is a desire. Wanting something strongly, feeling like you need to have that thing, that is a desire. And that is driven by one of our core needs of safety, freedom, meaning, or connection not being satisfied, not being fully fulfilled and satisfied. Again, there's levels to it. There's, you know, somewhat pacified, somewhat okay, somewhat content, or like really nourished, right? So if you are trying to manifest something, if you feel like, oh, I need to have that, I just really want that so strongly, trust that. You have that for a reason. You're meant to have that. That is your soul guiding you toward the experiences that you're meant to have. Okay? Now, when we process our emotions, we clear whatever is blocking us from being true and honest with ourselves about what we want and going after what we want. Because, like I said, healing is part of the manifesting process. So the minute you say, oh, I really need to have that, then the next thing is, do I really? Do I want that? Am I not sure? I don't know. Like, have you ever questioned what you actually want? Has ever someone ever said, "What do you want in life?" And you go, "I don't know." And your mind's literally blank. You're like, I literally don't know. Well, there's a lot of stuff to uncover so that you can clear and make way for those desires to really show up. They're already within you. They're already deep within you. Maybe you haven't like given them an association to an external thing, but those needs that aren't being met, however you want to manifest them getting met and getting fulfilled, right? That needs to happen through processing your emotions. Because when you're clear emotionally, you're clear mentally, you're clear spiritually, you can hear your intuition stronger, you can know what's true for you immediately, instantly. Like, and all of that is required, that knowing what's true, that being really clear on your vision, that knowing what you actually desire. That is part of the manifestation journey, and it's the first part, and it's an important part because without that, where are you going? You need the desire to be clear. So in order to get to a clear desire, we have to process our emotions. And then the healing continues because we want to feel safe with those desires. We want to feel like they're possible for us. Again, we're going to talk about that more in a second, but that's really essential. If we're coming from a depleted state, a burnt out state, an angry state, what do you think we're expecting, that we are foreseeing? Right? Remember, manifestation is about what you can foresee happening. So if you are in a negative headspace, if your needs aren't getting met, if you're feeling really unsafe, if you're having a lot of negative limiting beliefs, what do you think you're expecting? What do you think you're foreseeing as possible? In order to manifest the big dreams and goals, we have to see them as possible realities for us. And sometimes when there's a lot of limiting beliefs, we don't feel safe with those desires. So we tell ourselves we don't really want it, or we tell ourselves we don't know what we want, and all through kind of this self-protective behavior. But when we heal and we clear all of that, then it's like, oh no, I know for sure this is what I want. This is where I'm going. That's what makes it possible for us to experience it. Belief. Not willpower alone. That's not how we go for our goals. Willpower is an important tool to be used in bursts, but the most important ingredient is belief. It is possibility, right? It is, I strongly believe that this is possible for me. And when I think about it, my nervous system is at ease. I feel safe with this. If you don't believe it's possible for you, you're going to feel really dysregulated when you think about it. And I know this from personal experience. I'm working through some of it now. If I don't believe something is possible for me, I'm going to feel really uncomfortable. I could do all the affirmations I want in the mirror. I can say, I mean, I don't. If you know me, you know that I don't do that. But you can say the things. You can write down affirmations. You can say the things. But if your body and your mind aren't aligned, If you're telling yourself something and you're feeling this ease in your body, the self-sabotaging behaviors are going to come in because willpower requires a lot of energy. But belief carries us through. It carries us along. It's like we're floating in a river because that's when our subconscious is open and receptive and available for it. Beliefs are priming us for the things we desire. So after we've done some healing to get clear on what we actually desire and be honest with ourselves about what we desire, the same way we get honest with ourselves about what we're feeling, then it's about getting honest with ourselves about, do I think this is possible for me? And not just using willpower to go, okay, I know that I want that thing. I'm going to do all the doing things. I'm going to effort. I'm going to move toward it. No, do I actually believe? Can I see that for myself? Right? And the most important belief is a belief in your worthiness. That's really the root of all manifestation, is knowing that you deserve the things that you want to manifest because you're worthy of them, because they align with your worth. So if you believe strongly, right, that you're worthy, then you're on the way. But if you don't believe that you're worthy, you're cutting yourself off, you're limiting yourself. You're saying, I can't see that for myself. So how can you experience it? Manifestation is saying, I can see this. I can see myself having this. I can see myself being there. I can see myself in this experience. I feel good when I see it in my body. If you feel anxious, it means there's healing that needs to happen. There's things that haven't been processed. And you're going to limit what you're able to experience if that's happening, right? You need to believe in your worthiness so that you can know that you're deserving of the things that you want. If you don't believe you're worthy, you're going to think you don't deserve those things and you're going to prevent yourself from going after them. And if you do get them, because it's possible, depending on what it is, it won't be sustainable. It won't fulfill you, right? If you go after a desire that isn't truly the desire of your soul, it's not going to fulfill you. If you don't really believe you deserve something, when you get it, you're still going to feel undeserving of it and you're probably going to lose it. So we got to believe in our worthiness. It's inherent, by the way. It's not up for debate. It's just we have to get our minds there. We have to clear and heal and resolve all the things that we think are telling us that we're not worthy. Okay? So again, manifestation, when we can imagine something clearly, we can feel as though it's happening in our body as we envision it. We can feel it. We can feel safe with it. We can feel like aligned with it. That is when we make ourselves available to experiencing it. That's how manifestation works. Now, we're talking about healing, right? We're talking about healing, resolving the old, processing our emotions. To heal from something, getting our mind and body working together. To create something, getting our mind and body working together. You see where I'm going with this? Everything that we're learning in conventional ways is either teaching you to do the body work or teaching you to do the mind work. In Mighty Emotions and Mighty Emotions, we're teaching you to get them collaborating. When they're on the same page, when they're aligned, that's when things begin to happen. That's when things shift. That's when you are unstoppable because they're meant to work together. They each have their own strengths. Our mind has a strength, our body has a strength. When they work together, oh my gosh, possibilities, endless, limitless. When they are against each other, when they're conflicting, when they're not aligned, we're stuck, we're frustrated, we're self-sabotaging. So knowing that healing and manifesting is using the same approach of getting the mind and body working together. When you're manifesting, it's about taking the mind, using your imagination to visualize something, to foresee something, to picture yourself experiencing something. But then, as you're doing that, how is your body feeling? Because if, as you're picturing it, your body feels pleasant, pleasurable, neutral, positive, lifted, whatever adjectives you want to describe that explain how your body just feels open and receptive to whatever it is you're visualizing, that is what you manifest. Likewise, if you're imagining the worst and your body's feeling dysregulated, that's still alignment. Okay? So you understand it's about alignment. If I'm imagining something great and I feel great, that's alignment. If I'm imagining something horrible and I feel horrible, that's alignment. If I'm imagining something great and I feel horrible, misalignment. If I'm imagining something horrible and feeling great, I've never experienced that. I don't think that can happen, right? So it's either that your mind and body are aligned or that they're not aligned, and they can be aligned in either direction. But once they're aligned, that is what we manifest. So check in with this. Both of these things need to be in harmony. I can visualize it and I can feel good as I'm visualizing it. Or I visualize it and I feel awful. Then there's work to do. This is not to say that you will never be able to manifest the thing because these things are misaligned. It is to say, ah, okay, where's the healing that needs to happen? Is it in the mental part? Is it in the physical part? It's probably in both. The healing that needs to happen is just showing you, okay, there's a misalignment as I'm trying to manifest. Let's let's heal. Or I'm manifesting things that I don't want or aren't pleasant for my life. Okay, how can I heal so that I can be clear on the future that I desire and I can be feeling safe with that future being possible for me. That's how we manifest. Okay? We're either open and receptive or closed and guarded, right? We've got the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system states. But I like to just say open and receptive or closed and guarded. And you know when your body is in this state, and you know when you're mentally in this state, and you know when you're protecting yourself and you're in that trauma response, or you're at ease and you're relaxed and you're excited and you're joyful. These are the two states that we can be in. Now we manifest from either state. Remember, you can think something awful and you can feel awful and you can have that closing, but you're cutting yourself off from certain experiences. When you're open and receptive, you're expanding what you're available to experience. You're saying, I am available for more. I can experience more. I desire more. I believe I can have more. More is possible for me. So, tuning in and checking in to identify what state you're in is where processing your emotions comes in, where healing comes in. When you can do that, miracles. That's why we practice processing our emotions all the time. It's ongoing, checking in with ourselves, checking with our body, checking in with our mind. Am I open and receptive, or am I tense? Am I resistant? Am I closed? Am I guarded? Healing needs to happen because we want to be in the open and receptive state to manifest those amazing lives. Okay? And again, remember that this is all about our needs getting met. So we can either get our needs met in healthy or unhealthy ways, supportive or unsupportive ways, sustainable or unsustainable ways. We get our needs met regardless. We're always going to be trying to get our needs met. This is about us taking control of the process, of us getting clear on what those needs are, getting clear on what we believe will fulfill those needs. What is it that we just need to have? We just really want strongly. That's our desire. And we're able to trust that and we're able to move toward that and we're able to foresee ourselves having that, right? That's the direction that we want to go. But if we're not consciously going in that direction, we're going in the other direction. So it's always about taking control of this process and systematically going, okay, how am I feeling? How does my body feel? What's coming up in my subconscious? What needs to be released? Am I in an optimal state of well-being? Am I open and receptive? It's not going to be 100% of the time, and that is okay. It's just about you knowing that this is a natural process, like I said earlier, that you're able to do all the time, and know that at the core of it is your core needs. So when you understand your needs, and if you're in this community, then you're learning about your needs and you're learning to understand them better. But when you understand them, then you're able to really be consciously heading toward them. You're able to get them met in a good, healthy way. You're not resulting to these toxic or dysfunctional behaviors or patterns that you picked up to try and get them met, because that's not going to actually fulfill them. Our manifestations are what really fulfill our needs. So we want to take control of the process. Okay. So, oh, we're at the end already. This month, we are going to be covering the essential elements of manifesting, desire, belief, and expectation, which we kind of summarize quickly in this training. the podcast that you're getting and the later on trainings, you're gonna really get more of a deep dive into this. How to manifest better using what you know about your emotions. So like I said, you already have the inner tools, you already know how to do this. This is about you getting proactive and you checking in and you taking control of the process. You're also going to learn how to know when you're blocked from manifesting and how to clear those blocks. Really excited for this training because so many manifestation teachers will teach you all the tactics and blah, 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 blah. But when you get stuck because there's healing that needs to happen, that's not their area of expertise. That's my area of expertise. And so I'm going to break down for you where you get blocked, what those blocks can look like so you can recognize them and how to clear them. It's a lot easier than you think because again, it involves processing your emotions, which you're practicing every day, which you're learning how to do using the mighty emotions method. Remember, you're getting honest with yourself, you're noticing the discomfort, you're letting it be okay, you're honoring it, you're letting your body move the energy, then you're getting clear about what need is being communicated, what need isn't getting met, and then you're taking steps toward it. And one of those steps might be manifesting. One of those steps might be saying, this is what I desire to fulfill this need here. Like I'm moving toward it. I'm going to do the inner work, get my beliefs behind it. I'm going to visualize it. I'm going to get my body on board, imagine it, feel good as I'm imagining it, expect it because I'm worthy. Right, so we're going to be diving into all of this more. And at the end of this month, revisit the trainings as many times as you need because knowing how we do this consciously is so, so powerful. The people that you see that have amazing lives, they likely have been using manifestation. They have been. I'm not even going to say they're like, I'm 100% confident. Whether knowingly or unknowingly, they've been using the process of manifestation. So it's a part of our lives and we should understand it. Just like processing our emotions, having emotions is part of our lives and we should understand it. Okay, remember, if you feel pulled toward a desire of your heart, if you feel like something is so necessary, that is what you're meant to have. That is the direction you're meant to head in. So if you say, I really desire this thing, that thing is also desiring you and is the outcome that you are deserving of, that you are worthy of. So trust your desires. Let yourself trust your desires. You're going to get reflection questions this month. Do the walking reflections. Listen to the music as you do the questions because that's going to help your nervous system be in a more open state so that you can be really honest with yourself and let those answers come up. But do the questions. Ask yourself these questions in a relaxed state and see the answers that come forth. It's not as scary as you think, I promise. Okay? So with that, I'm excited. Happy manifesting this month, guys. Be sure to send me messages. Let me know how it's going for you. Send me questions if you have questions. We didn't have time for questions in this recording because it's already been a long time. It's been a minute. But send me your questions and I'm happy to answer them anytime. Leave them below this video or send me a DM if you don't feel comfortable leaving them publicly. And I'm just so excited to see all the amazing things that you're able to manifest this month. All right, guys. Love you so much. Be gentle with yourselves. Bye bye.